Timeless. Chapter 10. Honesty in a perfectly packaged date. Luna trotted happily down the halls, looking over the nightly briefing that had been left with her breakfast. Celestia apparently had been in the mood for pancakes at night. Not that Luna was gonna complain, her sister was a fantastic cook. However, there was something that prompted the Lunar Princess to seek out her sister. It had been a brief exchange the day before, bidding her sister good morning and excitedly telling her about her date. But something about Celestia's reaction had been muted? Or false? Not the correct terms, though. Luna just couldn't put her hoof on it.
My sister should be in her study for the hour or so of fine downtime before we have to retire. The bonus of that day off, showing us that we need some relaxing time.
Knocking on her sister's door, Luna walked in on hearing the customary,
"Come in." We all need some downtime. I just hope I'm not interrupting anything important.
Luna's thoughts ground to a halt on seeing a dozen papers strewn out in front of Celestia, the other ruler sipping on some berry tea as she looked over the documents.
"Oh, Luna, what can I do for you?"
Celestia asked, clearly ignoring her sister's surprised expression.
"I had a question, but now I have two. Isn't this your relaxing hour?"
Luna asked, easily picking up the shift in her sister's demeanor. The other alicorn now looked to her tea and then the documents.
"Yes, but I wanted to read over a few things."
Luna looked at a few of the papers, raising an eyebrow in curiosity.
"The transfer of ruling power to Twilight and her friends? Is that not already settled, at least in a general sense?"
Celestia still refused to look at Luna, shrugging her shoulders.
"Yes, but I merely wanted to review a few things. The whole ceremony, us flying off nobly into the sunset as though to never be seen again, our last raising and lowering of the sun and moon, the other last things that we'll do."
Letting Celestia talk, Luna sat down slowly. There was very little emotion behind her sister's voice, as though she was simply reciting some rote script. It was the same tone that she took during difficult negotiations, keeping her mind on a single track.
"Of course, we'll help her behind the scenes for a year or two, make sure she's settled, but I'm sure that she and her friends can handle things. I just hope that I haven't pushed her too hard. We have dropped odd hints, which must seem random at times. But, I suppose there is no other way to go about it, other than the last time that we do such and such, because for a generation, I suppose that is true. After that, of course, plans will change, because Twilight and her friends will eventually, even if they ascend, and they... Sister."
Luna's simple words snapped Celestia out of her daze, the younger sister shaking her head.
"We have been through this, Ellie,"
Luna whispered sadly.
"and it is a fact that will not change. That is not the reason that you're distracting yourself, though. I want to help, but I don't know how I can. Why are you choosing such a personal and painful topic to occupy your thoughts?"
Celestia grit her teeth, setting aside her tea with a sigh.
"As observant as ever. I was a fool to think I could hide conflict from you. No, you still can, but this is something beyond your ability to conceal. Please, sister. What is it?"
Shaking her head, Celestia didn't say anything at first. It only took a glance, though, her eyes meeting Luna's for a split second. In an instant, a familiar set of eyes replaced the Solar Princess's. Predatory, leering, and looking back at her from a mirror as emotion overcame logic. It was a moment that Luna remembered quite clearly from over 1,000 years ago.
"Of course. Tia,
Luna whispered, genuine care and pity overcoming her surprise.
you are envious."
Celestia turned away, not wanting her sister to see the pained expression that shattered the carefully curated mask that still struggled to stay in place.
"It is not right nor fair to you."
Luna walked over to her sister, spreading a comforting wing over Celestia's back. To her surprise, the contact caused the alabaster alicorn to shiver, side shaking slightly.
"I am happy for you. I truly am. That is not a lie.
Celestia whispered.
I should be better than this. A better ruler. A better sister than Tia, please be quiet."
Luna whispered, shaking her head.
"Just because our subjects think of us as otherworldly and without feeling, that doesn't mean that we are. Have you forgotten which of us fell prey to a creature of envy, jealousy, and anger first?"
A sad chuckle left Celestia's frame, Luna's words clearly hitting home.
"And you are right, of course, but that doesn't make me feel any less guilty."
Waiting for a time, Luna's ears pinned back at her next question.
"Do you have feelings for shifting as well?"
A loud snort left Celestia's muzzle, the alicorn letting out a genuine laugh before composing herself.
"Oh goodness, no. I do think that he's a fantastic stallion, don't get me wrong, because I fully approve of shifting. It's not him specifically, it's just how relaxed that you can be around him. That said, I don't think I could ever fall for that sort."
Luna blinked, her brow furrowing.
"That sort?"
Celestia was quiet for a few moments, her wings drooping slightly.
When you see ponies as subjects or a form of children for 1,000 years, and they see you as a nigh unapproachable goddess, that view is very hard to break from, both from my perspective and theirs, despite my efforts. You were lucky in that respect. When you returned, you immediately showed that you were just a pony like anyone else. By terrifying half of Ponyville. And then by remedying the situation, yes. But my happiness for you in shifting has brought out things that I've since been able to ignore for 1,000 years. And don't you feel guilty about that, though? If anything, it's healthy to finally deal with it all, as much as it is distressing.
Luna frowned, her own wings now slightly slumping.
You do not speak much of those years. Why is that? Are they that painful for you? Perhaps I am naive in assuming that they are not. I cannot help you with this, can I, Tia? I wish I could. Just keep being yourself, Lulu. That's all I've ever wanted. Despite those horrible words I used during our argument on our day off, you are worth more to me than anything.
Luna paused, a smile meandering onto her features at Celestia's remark.
I do promise to be dependable. Of all the things that you could have said, by the way, it was hardly that mean. I was surprised, though. Why did you say that specifically?
Celestia picked up her tea, draining the steaming cup in a single gulp. Her expression bordered on a frown, but her brow indicated that the alicorn was deep in thought.
How can I put this?
She whispered.
The thought of losing you again, of not having another pony I can truly depend on again, be it for conversation, support, or anything. That thought is...
The words seemed to stick to Celestia's teeth like glue, refusing to leave until the ruler looked at the floor.
It's frightening.
Luna drew a mental string between two ideas, venturing a guess.
Tia, is this about before? About the time that you ruled without me? Yes.
The single word was so softly spoken that Luna almost missed it, but the single syllable carried a millennium of weight to it, soaked with pain and fear.
I won't ask, unless you want me to. It hasn't gone unseen by me, your unwillingness to discuss anything other than basic history of the past. And I will respect that. Just know that I'm here for you, Tia. And I'm sure that shifting is too. I could order him to read you bedtime stories after all.
A genuine chuckle left Celestia's frame, the alicorn hugging her sister close with a sigh.
That won't be necessary, but thank you, Lulu. Thank you for being so understanding. Anytime, Tia. Anytime.
Celestia took a deep breath. Letting it out slowly, she pushed her sister away to forelimb length, a sly smile meandering onto her features.
Now then, don't you need to get ready for your date?
She teased. Completely without shame, Luna nodded and welcomed the charge in the atmosphere, quite literally bouncing out of Celestia's room with a smile, and she happily waved briefly.
Indeed I do, sister. Sleep well.
Shifting shifted nervously at the castle entrance, adjusting the Lunar Knight breastplate for the umpteenth time. The rest of the armor was absent, but the newly upgraded piece was the perfect balance between formal and casual. Still looks the same, but it has that new, stronger metal liner. I'm just happy I could keep my enchantments on it intact. I wonder when Luna will get here. Over 1,000 years old and I still feel like I'm asking a filly to a school dance. An awareness of a certain event in the next week or two then rose to the fore, prompting the stallion to smile. I suppose that may be applicable to Knot, but I hope this is appropriate. I feel just odd without any armor.
Shifting?
A familiar voice drew his attention, prompting the commander to smile. Luna! He piped up, gesturing to the expanse of Canela behind them. Art thou ready for lovely nights? He asked, prompting a giggle as the princess took his outstretched hoof.
We surely are. What is the plan, my noble knight?
Shifting couldn't help but chuckle as they walked towards the main city, levitating a small paper out from the satchel at his side. Well, first is the main activity. If that goes on for longer than planned, the other portions of that evening can be possibly pushed to another time. Luna grinned, clearly spying an opening.
Are you already planning for a second date, Shifting?
She teased as they walked, prompting the stallion's ears to perk up as he stammered. Not like, I mean...
Such boldness, such audacity from my new commander.
Luna, I didn't...
To think you'd be so forward on our first date.
Shifting paused, his expression now deadpanned as his ears twitched. This is payback for earlier, isn't it? He grumbled, prompting a pleasant laugh.
For what? I can't imagine paying you back for something.
Totally is. Luna's giggle made the commander smile as they meandered the streets, making their way to the industrial center of Canterlot. Pausing at a massive warehouse-like building, Shifting nodded to the sleepy night guard who waved them through. The Earth Pony clearly wasn't paid enough to care about a planned royal visit because the only sign of surprise was a slight widening of his eyes as Luna trotted after Shifting. Pausing in a dreary reception room complete with a worn couch, simple wooden table, and a few filing cabinets, Luna looked around, rather puzzled at the choice of location.
A warehouse? I'm intrigued.
she murmured, examining a small box and sticker that Shifting levitated over to her. And this is for you. Can you please write down your mailing address? Shifting asked, prompting a smile as Luna accepted a pen.
Did my sister clue you in on how much I adore the process of mail shifting?
Luna quipped as she scribbled onto the small address sticker. A bit, but you've already mailed something to yourself, so I wouldn't want to repeat an experience completely. Shifting grinned, gesturing to the alicorn as they walked down the halls, dim lights illuminating their way. Throwing open a large metal door, Shifting gestured to the massive interior room of the warehouse, flicking on a light switch that sent lights sputtering on across the roof. Dozens of large machines dotted a series of conveyor belts, magical gems sparkling as the wonders of magic and electricity were harnessed into the various devices. Miss Luna, may I present one of the primary packaging, sorting, and mailing centers of Canterlot. It's almost fully automated, actually. Shifting declared, motioning for Luna to follow as they walked down a metal catwalk, stopping near one of the large conveyor belts. I thought you might be interested in seeing how it all works. The stallion remarked, motioning to the empty belt. That sticker is enchanted to make the machines run slower so that we can follow through the entire process of it being packaged, sorted amongst some other items, and then put out for delivery. I can explain some of the basic functions of each machine too, if you'd like. He waited for a few moments, a few nerves creeping into his system. What do you think? The Lunar Knight finally asked, not being able to read Luna's expression. His hesitation vanished as the big smile plastered itself across Luna's face, her eyes lighting up with joy. As she turned to look at her date, Shifting felt his heart skip a beat. The stallion had never seen someone look at him with such utter adoration and elation, the alicorn now beginning to hop up and down with excitement, green eyes sparkling with eager energy.
When can we start?
Shifting trotted over to flick a large beaker, then motioned towards the conveyor belt. Just place the package and off we go. I love that. It's kinda similar to Starlight and her kites. Though who would've knew that Luna would be that interested in mail. Now let's get on to our quick donators. Top donators Peter Coulthard, J-Tin Man, Darkside, Gauntlet, and Only One Thing. Zar630, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Rollins, CrazyKiller557, Stu Hex, Will, Omicron Library, Chris, Dospo, Delta Omega, Jack Hadge, RunesLife9852, Madman Stan, Leslie Prickett, Drake Lovedragon, Hunter Norman, Stephen Bingham, LineGuy12, Sorcerer Constantine, Hudzaza, RD, Convair, and many more amazing people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.